All right. Damn, 10 people already? 11 people? Oh my god. Let me just tweet out the stream real quick. Give me 1 second. All right, bro. How is everybody feeling? Jesus Christ, 50 viewers. That's fucking awesome. Um, we're so fucking back. We're so fucking back. It's crazy how much someone's mood can change in about an hour. If you were looking at me and Nick's text conversation beforehand, it was nothing nothing like the emotions we got going on right now. But yeah, I mean, Brian Burns, that's a massive trade, massive contract. He's now the second highest paid defensive end in football, and he's getting $30 million a year, 5-year contract. Is it a salary that's above his kind of level of play? I don't think you're wrong to say that, but also at the same time, these guys like Bosa, who signed last year, got 34 million. Guys like T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, they're going to be extending soon, and by the time this contract is in year 3, maybe even this time next year when of year 2 when other edge rushers have gotten paid, other guys have hit the market. This contract is going to look a lot better. The 30 million right now, it's not something that you look at and you're like, oh, that's a great value. This is going to age well over time. It was a massive need for them to get him with Kayvon, have him opposite Kayvon, let him kind of grow together with Kayvon. Obviously, Dex being there is going to be massive for everybody as well. They're going to be able to finally get Brian Burns, one-on-one with an offensive tackle. It didn't happen much in Carolina. Jesus Christ, 170 viewers. Thank you guys for coming by over here. I'm just going to tweet out this link one more time. We're just getting started. I'm going to be on for like maybe 45 minutes to an hour, somewhere around there. So just be patient with me for a second. In the meantime, while I'm getting this set up, anything you guys want to comment on, talk about, doesn't have to be Giants, doesn't have to be New York football. If there's other fan bases here, just let that stuff, let it out in the comments. We'll hit on all that stuff. Gonna have Tyrese joining us now too, in a minute. All right, so I know Eckler to the Commanders. I see it's a 2-year deal. Eckler to the Commanders. Kind of a weird situation over there. I mean, he clearly lost his step this season in LA. And for them to give him that deal, I mean, I probably would have just given Antonio Gibson $4 million a season. I don't know. That seems weird to me. Dude. Tyrese, I'm trying to send you this link, but my Twitter is crashing, bro. I don't know.
The Trenches are back in MetLife.
Okay,
Stadium.
he's here. Let's go. Oh my god. You scared the shit out of me too.
I forgot I could add myself to Streamlabs.
Tyrese, when I'm watching Giants games this year, I'm whipping this out, man.
Yep.
I'm whipping out a whole lot of this.
Yep.
We got
we here. We're here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
um. So lining up left to right on the O line. Obviously, Andrew Thomas is going to be in there. You got John Runyon, who can play either left or right guard. He's had experience in both positions.
I assume he plays right.
Potentially, yeah.
Actually,
I
no.
also,
Neal's could be right guard because they're kicking him off right tackle, which they should do.
yeah, I'm interested to see if that contract is, dude. I can't believe there's almost 300 people in here. That's ridiculous. I'm interested to see if that contract is guaranteed or not for the second season, because that to me tells me more about how they view Neal going forward. Right? If it's not guaranteed, then it really is just a 1 year. You know, if Neal doesn't work out, then we'll keep you here for the second season. If he does, then we're gonna move on with him because we wanted him to be the right tackle from the jump. So that's interesting to me. Guard in the draft is also not out of the equation, I don't think. And right there, you pretty much got 4 spots nailed down now. If you move Neal inside, that's 5, and you don't have to touch guard in the draft.
Yeah, I doubt they go O line in the draft unless it's like late round depth. Because like you feel like you have your O line for at least the next 2 years, potentially.
Essentially,
I think Runyon's solid for pass pro. Run prod is a little iffy, but like if they're gonna draft a rookie quarterback, at least having really good pass protection is something that you would want. Having them operate out of like a clean pocket is the ideal. I'm gonna flub his name, so I don't want to flub his name when I say it.
Illuminor?
Yeah, Ellen, whatever the fuck his name is. I know he's good. I know he's good. He was good with the Raiders, especially after week 5. The offensive line coach that we got, I feel like that was probably his pull.
It was. So for those who don't know, for those who didn't listen to the podcast that I did yesterday on this, Illuminor was with the new O-line coach, Carmen Basillo, in Las Vegas. He was over there not only with Vegas, but also with in New England when Illuminor was also with the Patriots. So there was a lot of history there with them too. Makes sense for him to come here. And last season he was on a $3 million salary. Now he goes up to 7 for 2 years. So, just an easy connect the dots to make. And you got a reliable starter now.
This is our Isaiah Hartenstein move.
Potentially. I mean, I think that's not a bad comp, really.
Yeah, this is like the guy that you signed to be like a solid tackle, and then he just becomes like maybe you signed him to be like a right guard, and then he just becomes like a really solid left tackle.
Right.
Again, right tackle. I haven't hated the move they made. People are gonna look at the Saquon thing sentimentally, and that's fine. Like the Giants, almost the Knicks. The Giants are finally doing what the rest of the league has done, which is essentially allocate money into premium positions. So, off defensive line, left tackle, those are the 2 best players on the team. Now you have a really good linebacking core with Okereke, which I don't think people forgot. I think people forgot Okereke was on the team. People have talked about like Dex and Brian Burns, and I'm like, Okereke is still there. Okereke was an All-Pro last year. I don't care about those fucking awards. He was an All-Pro last year.
Mm-hmm.
So like, arguably the best linebacking core. Elite D-line, potentially solid O-line, and like I said, the trenches are back.
Yeah, man.
The trenches, they're finally building trench outward, which is what they should have been doing. Like, I think McKinney is good, but I'm not paying $17 million for a fucking safety. I'm sorry. Like, has Poyer signed yet?
No.
I guarantee you Poyer's going to fucking be the safety. And I don't care. Like, Poyer's fine. He's like 30 years old.
I wouldn't be surprised. I also, somebody who I've talked with or talked about to some people, I was talking to Schwinn about this guy. I was talking to a few of my Giants friends who asked me what another safety option could be. I could see us going after Alohi Gilman from the Chargers, somebody who I think is probably the rangiest guy left in the class. I don't think, and this is a pretty obvious one, but like Justin Simmons, not a fit over here. Just too old. Kevin Byard signed already. And I want to hit on the McKinney contract because he got paid a top 5 safety salary for 4 years. I don't think that price point is something that's ridiculous for a guy of his caliber, dude. I keep seeing 400 viewers. I can't stop smiling. That's really wild. But I don't think that's an insane contract. It's just the Packers were in a position to pay him that, and we weren't. That's just the fact of the matter. They also front loaded his deal from a tweet that I saw, so he's getting $25 million this season.
Yep.
And if we were to match that contract, it's just poison pilling our entire situation this offseason. We have $38 million before restructuring some guys, and if we were to give him that money, it's just not working out. We're not getting Burns. We're not getting anybody besides like John Runyon. And if that was to happen, everybody would shit themselves, right? So
yeah,
it's the unfortunate situation that we're in with the DJ contract and a lot of the stuff that we're just still paying for with Gettleman, right? Like we've had to bring in so many guys to plug holes because draft picks weren't good. And a lot of that stuff, I feel, is stuff that like has fallen on Joe Shane's plate or like fallen, at his doorstep, and people are blaming him for it. And I'm just like, well, he's kind of had his back against the wall every year. And with the limited cap space he's had this offseason, I think he's doing a pretty damn good job. The only contract I don't love is Runyon, but we'll see how he plays when he gets over here. And
have you seen the structure yet?
No structure yet on his contract.
Yeah, I'll wait for the structure before I like get too upset about it. But like again, I think Runyon's fine. Like he's better Glowinski, and that's all you could kind of ask for. Where it's like, just be solid, especially in pass protection. He doesn't give up pressures and he doesn't give up sacks. So like, you're good in pass pro. You're garbage and run pro. But like good in pass pro, and you don't shit the bed. Like basic tackle shit.
Yeah,
and probably playing next to AT is going to help him a lot.
That's my hope. That's my hope. He obviously was supposed to be with Bakhtiari last year, and Bakhtiari's been hurt. He's been out of lineup, whatever the case may be with him. Who got cut today, by the way. He's definitely going to be a Jet. I think that's like the easiest call out to make right now of the dudes on the board. I'm just excited, man. Like, there's growth potential here, not only in Runyon, but like there's growth potential for JMS, right? If Neal gets kicked inside, I think there's big time growth potential over there. So I think for the first time we're setting ourselves up to not only be improved in in the trenches, but also potentially have one of those kind of leap years, or one of those years where people look back and say, oh, development is not linear, right? Like a unit just kind of pops. I think that's the position we might be in. Luca, what's your thoughts?
Hey, I'm here, everybody. So, what's going on? First reaction, at least to the Burns thing, like you said, Con, we traded Leonard Williams and 8 spots back in the second round for Brian Burns, and also he extended him for 5 years. And like you were saying as well, I think Shane has done a pretty good job considering the cap hell that he inherited from Gettleman. Like I saw a lot of people mad at one not paying Saquon and also not paying McKinney, but we weren't in any position to give $30 million a year total to a running back and a safety. That money
don't pay running backs, man. Like
we just
haven't we learned
for like half that anyway.
I guarantee you now, Devin Singletary is going to have higher yards per carry and all-purpose yards than Saquon Barkley. Guarantee it. Okay,
I just don't know.
Saquon's going to have his yearly sperm cramps, and he's going to miss 4 games. You know what's going to happen. He's going to miss like 4 to 5 games because he's going to be running by that garbage-ass Philadelphia O-line, and something's going to get tweaked. He's not going to play games. Like, look, I cannot get worked up about Saquon leaving the team from a financial standpoint. From a sentimental standpoint, yes, but from financial standpoint, no.
Yeah.
Sentimentally, we fucked it up, man. Honestly, like we fucked it up from the time he was drafted here. Yep. We brought in guys like Patrick Omame and Nate Solder and X, Y, and Z, who I don't even want to remember.
Eric
but
Flowers.
Eric Flowers was here. Like,
Oh God.
I'm not gonna go ahead and list the rest. Like, for fuck's sake, one more. We had Spencer Pulley at center. Like,
Oh my!
Stop.
like it just. I feel bad for the guy because the discourse around the pick, and even when I've talked about him, it's always been, yeah, well, he's never gonna be the number 2 pick and live up to that draft selection. It's the flat out truth, and it's not the guy's fault. It's Dave Gettleman's fault. Which, talking about him 3 years later after he's been fired to tell you everything you need to know about his tenure here, it was destructive. It was one of the worst GMs we've had in New York sports since probably like Isaiah Thomas. So I'm glad that he's going to go somewhere where he can produce. Tyree said the Eagles' O-line was trash. They lost Kelsey, but I'm not going to go ahead and say that. They still
They
got
also
a
just
hater.
locked up Landon Dickerson though. So
I'm a hater.
Yeah, they locked up Landon. They got
They're playing
obviously
Jalen Hurts at quarterback, bro. Like, I'm good.
I can slander Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
I'll
Jalen
do
Hurts
that.
needs to learn how to throw an out route. Like fucking be serious.
I don't know, man. I just think like the Illuminor move is also really solid. You guys were talking about it a bit before, but he'll help shore up the O-line and also just be another like good vet for JMS to learn from.
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned this earlier, Con, but like the unit as a whole could take a leap just because everything isn't on like Andrew Thomas by himself to protect whoever the quarterback is. And I think if JMS takes any sort of leap behind Brasillo, we're going to be like probably we could be like a top 12 unit, I think, because Brasillo has had good numbers with less talent on the O-line than we have right now. And if that's any sign for things to come, on top of AT just being the second best left tackle in the league already, I think we're going to see some pretty good stuff from the O-line this year.
Yo, what do you guys think about Brian Burns nicknaming himself Spider?
The only spider that exists in New York.
Yes.
The only one we
The only
need.
Spider that we know.
The only Spider we need.
Brian Burns is going to be this year's day ball for the Knicks.
Bro,
and I need it.
Wait, Brian Burns is going to be this year's day ball for the Knicks?
I'm talking about like when Dayball showed up to every Rangers game and they won every Rangers game. That he
okay.
to.
I got you. Now I got you.
I need him. I need him front row and seated.
Yeah. If we want to just talk about the defense, it's not like a pretty unit overall, but the pieces that we have locked in, I mean, Dex, KT, and Burns on the D line. We have Okereke and McFadden, Banks and Pinnock in the secondary. Like that's where it sucks to really not be able to retain McKinney. Although I do think we'll probably address safety anyway. Like I'm wondering what Justin Simmons' contract will look like. Because I don't know. I mean, he's older than McKinney, but he's also more proven. So I'm wondering if teams would go past that 17 mil a year threshold. I
would
doubt
be
it.
Right now saying no.
Yeah. So depending on what his market looks like, I don't know how much space the Giants still have in cap, but like there's still some good safeties out there to be able to just spot fill the holes in the defense that are left. But we have a really solid core right now. And although we're not going to be...
I see here that Alohi Gilman went back to the Chargers for 2 years.
Yeah.
I missed that?
I think so.
I guess I did. I see 2 years, $11 million. Anyway, okay, so I guess that's out the fucking door. Damn.
But yeah, like even if we won't be winning for a couple of years, which you can almost guarantee we won't be, having these guys young and locked into contracts, especially on the defense, is really solid.
Yeah, you're gonna have. I want to see if the Burns contract is added on top of the under contract season that he had right now, or was he franchise? He was franchise tagged.
He's franchise tagged.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a true 5-year deal. He's 26. He's gonna be a free agent again at 31. At that point, you've had the best 5 years of his career probably. Yeah. And him with Dex being here for 4 more seasons, that is the best interior line and edge duo since Aaron Donald and Von Miller. am I missing something? Like maybe the Niners with like Bosa and Hargrave matches up to it, but I think
Dex is better than Hargrave.
Dex is like that Bosa caliber player for us.
Yeah, and I think
And Burns is also
Burns
like
is better than Hargrave.
It's
hard
up
to compare
there.
positions, but he's a hell of a player.
Yeah. The point is get fucking hype, man, because this team is gonna get after the fucking quarterback.
I mean,
I'm interested to see how the Giants Eagles matchups go now.
Saquon is gonna have he's gonna be in hell trying to get past the fucking line of scrimmage again.
It's gonna be funny to see like people victory lapping Saquon, like not doing much on us. And I'm gonna be sitting there like, this is why I said you don't pay a running back. And they're gonna be like, no, you wouldn't get it. You wouldn't get it. Like Saquon was like, you know, he was a giant through and through. Like, shut up.
He's
man.
went
Until he
to
went to the
Penn
Eagles.
State. He's from Pennsylvania.
Shut up. Like, come on. Let's take emotion out of this, please.
Also, I would not rule out Big Cat pulling a Chapman.
You think?
He might.
That would take a lot of cap gymnastics. So just to
I
set the
don't
picture for
think he's
everybody,
gonna get like a significant deal.
There's
like that,
no
though.
way. I mean, what is he on right now? Or is he? No, he's a free
he's a
agent.
free agent.
What was he making last year? Like 13?
It was
30,
it was
like 30.
close to a $30 million cap hit,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, because we have to restructure.
Oh,
him
because the
and, like,
Gettleman.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gettleman, for another one of those.
All I'm
nice
saying is,
contracts.
it wouldn't surprise me if he just like pulled a Chapman. I don't really think he has a market like that. To be fair,
It depends, man. Like it's hard to gauge just because you haven't heard a lot of chatter about him. But then again, you didn't hear a lot of chatter about some of these other defensive tackles, and like the Raiders gave Justin Jones. I'm sorry. The Raiders gave Wilkins like $28 million a season.
I was shocked to see him go to the Raiders. Just to
Yeah.
hit on that for a quick second. Like the money doesn't surprise me, but the Raiders of all places.
I don't know what the Raiders are doing.
Yeah, and then they paid Minshew like $13 million to come over here and throw it to Devontae Adams. Like,
15 million guaranteed.
yeah.
Devontae Adams probably is getting traded too, I would assume, right?
Speaking
Like,
of receiver
soon?
trades, Justin Jefferson, anybody?
Oh shit! I mean, I
Man.
assume they draft a quarterback.
It's funny. It's funny that all this gets brought up because yesterday in the offseason preview, I said the NFL gets more and more like the NBA every year.
Yeah.
And this is the singular most NBA like offseason we've ever seen in the NFL.
That cap going. Taylor Swift did this.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift
It's
did
her
this.
fault.
This is Taylor Swift's fault.
That's the best way to
No,
get
they're good.
engagement.
It's about time,
Have all the
dude.
Swifties just flood Strickland shit.
We're already at 8. We're already at 800. We might as well keep going.
We actually do need them to get this out to the Swifties because they'll get a lot of ad revenue for us.
That's what I'm saying. Get the
Yeah.
engagement. Make that money.
Facts.
Wait, I have an update. So the update, Mike Onwenu, $19 million per year is his highest offer right now, according to Art Stapleton.
Oh yeah, I just saw that.
He says he doesn't think the Giants will go there, but Joe Schoen has already swung for the fences once today.
Would you do Michael Owenu now? I don't know.
Ooh, I mean, not anything Giants related, but Jordan Brooks to the Dolphins, 3 years, $30 million.
Yeah, that hurts, man. If you're Seattle, that hurts.
Yeah.
You did a lot.
I feel like Seattle's just been getting destroyed.
Oh,
Seattle's had
speaking of Seattle, sorry. Fucking his name's slipping my mind right now, but their starting safety, not Jamal Adams, is
Quandre?
also on the market. Yes.
Yeah, Quandre. Yeah.
Yeah, Quandre Diggs is
he got cut.
solid. Yeah, he did get cut. I mean, I don't know what his cap hit's looking like. But there's a lot of safety options out there, man. And like I love McKinney because he's homegrown and like stud second round pick and all. But I think there's definitely some replacement options out there.
I see a little bit of a topic switch, but like I see these graphics about like the Giants defensive core, and it's Bobby, it's Deontay, it's Dex, Brian Burns, Kayvon. And I'm just like, dude, Micah McFadden was like better than Kayvon last year at his job. Like Micah McFadden gets no love. it's kind of annoying. That guy was a stud.
Yeah,
He
like
was
the
really amazing.
linebackers that the Giants have for the first time since like you want to say, oh, the first Super Bowl year are probably like really solid. Like Okereke, McFadden, technically Thibodeau's a linebacker, but like
He
they're
was the
really
wink.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like I mean Burns technically is a linebacker, but like yeah, man, I'm so happy we have trenches now, dude. I'm so happy.
I mean, 2 years ago when we made our playoff push, our starting linebackers were fucking Jalen Smith and before him, Tay Crowder. And McKinney was our best linebacker in that playoff season.
Yep.
Like that is some nasty stuff. And to your point, Tyrese, I'm glad we actually finally have somewhat of a linebacker.
Bring back
support.
Isaiah Simmons, bro.
I actually wouldn't hate that either.
I actually am like I'm being serious.
That's so funny.
It's
Welcome
I'm using my
back.
laptop and not my computer.
You wouldn't get it when Brian Burns is a Giant. You wouldn't get it.
For real. Brian Burns being a Giant makes me want to actually show my face.
He'll
I
have a
just got a
space cam
haircut,
on
so.
for the OG return game tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, it won't.
We actually need that.
No,
Dude, I swear to God, at like 3 p.m., the world was fucking falling apart in my eyes. McKinney was gone, Saquon was an Eagle. And then like the initial Burns rumor starts, we get a Luminor, OG is like magically cleared and he's gonna be playing. And then the Burns trade happens and we extend
Edwin Diaz is pitching, bro. It's all
Edwin
back.
Diaz is pitching. Let's go.
It's our year.
Let's go.
Dude, the Mets pitching lab is working. The Giants are back in the trenches. The Knicks are getting healthy.
We're
the
getting
Rangers
the
are
metal
great.
back again in the Garden.
The Garden is Eden.
Back.
MetLife is sacred. The
Yeah.
Jets are floundering. Oh, spring is back in New York City. And
We
I'm not
can
even
talk
expecting.
Jets. This is an NFL podcast after all.
Yeah, you want to hit on some Jets?
What if they hit
Yeah, I was gonna say there's nothing to say they've hit on. More like what the hell are they doing? Respectfully, I mean they just lost Huff today. I mean who the hell?
Who do they have?
Well, they replaced Huff with a worse linebacker, and I'm just gonna try and find that real quick.
What was his name?
I'm not entirely sure who they signed. I admittedly I was in class for half of free agency.
Yeah, it was in class.
Yeah,
But,
it was they didn't sign anybody, but they gave Carl Lawson $345 and wouldn't sign Huff for $351.
Oh yeah, that was years
That's
ago though.
dumb.
Yeah, I
What?
know, but still, like that just
Mhm.
speaks to their philosophy and and how poor of a job they've been doing considering the hype their front office gets. I think.
They signed Greg Zuerlein. Okay.
That's
That's the only thing I think they've done.
Joe Douglas is back, baby. Best GM in football.
Dude, Joe Douglas and Sean Marks.
Fucking two peas in a pod.
Yep.
Two peas in a fucking pod. Kevin Durant is their Aaron Rodgers, bro.
No,
The
actually.
45-second season.
Dude. Yes. Yeah.
Yep. Torn Achilles too.
Torn Achilles. Oh my god, it actually lines up fucking insanely well.
Oh my god. I think being the second team in New
do we
York is
wanna-
just a curse.
I mean, I haven't said like official thoughts or anything.
Edwin
on the
Diaz
Saquon
strikes
deal,
out the side in his spring debut. We're so back.
but
Dude, before you go, I just know like Garrett Cole got his MRI today. And I
Pray
know
for me,
you're a
please.
Yankee fan, so
Pray
I
for
just
me.
want to say I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Truly.
I mean, reports have come out since that. Hopefully, it's just a precautionary
That-
thing. But they're also Yankees injuries, so I'm not exactly expecting the best, but hoping for it.
Mm-hmm.
When you see arm fatigue, just know.
I know.
Just know.
Is that
I am
how-
way too experienced with arm fatigue. That's how DeGrom.
Yeah,
That's how it happened
yeah.
with DeGrom. They're like, oh yeah, arm fatigue, and then it was like left scapula injury, and then it was like sprained Tommy John, that they wanted to work around the fact that his Tommy John was like falling off the bone, and then he goes to the Rangers and it actually falls off the bone. Like, just be prepared when you see arm fatigue. Same thing's happening with Kodai Senga now. When you see arm fatigue, just know.
Just keep
He's
me
gone.
in your prayers. I know we're rivals, but no hard feelings from me.
No hard feelings because I want Soto.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm not gonna actually get into that shit. What about the Saquon to Philly? Like, I'm just shocked that they overpaid. It almost feels like a spite move.
It was a spite move.
Like,
I think they legally came and said Saquon signed with the Eagles because he wanted to play the Giants twice a year.
Like I was saying it in Discord this morning, but like how he never pays running backs, and now he's gonna pay 26 guaranteed for an aging, injury-prone running back instead of actually like addressing premium positions. Like I know they got Huff, but that's not exactly a position in need. I feel like the Eagles could have much better spent that money on, let's say, McKinney, for example.
Yeah.
Like I think that would have been a way better deal for them than overpaying Saquon.
And I kind of see like the turning of guys that Howie Roseman likes to do, right? Like he's been talking about Hassan Reddick, or there's been reports about Hassan Reddick looking for a trade. There's been reports about them trying to trade Josh Sweat, and you can kind of see how they kind of manufacture these picks, right? Like they're going to bring in Huff with this cap space. They're going to trade Hassan Reddick for whatever picks, and it's going to be a net zero in amount of good pass rushers, right? But they're going to have equal cap hits pretty much, and they're going to gain a draft pick out of it. Like that's just unbiasedly, that's really good GMing. Yeah. And just like how they unlocked a kind of new level for Hassan Reddick when he got there, I think they could do the same with Bryce Huff. And it's just how we keep fucking losing to these guys, honestly. That's just the truth of the matter.
Didn't I think Huff had like the most pressures like per snap because he didn't play any snaps last year for the Jets.
Yeah, he was part-time. And that's probably why they spent on him, because they're like, yeah, we could give him a bigger role. And like,
yeah, 100%. Like that makes up for the Saquon deal if you're an Eagles fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like by far.
I want to get to this just because comments are trying to come in a little bit more. How are we feeling about the Giants? If you want, you could scroll back to the beginning where me and Tyree started bugging out, or you could just listen through for right now. I think it's the best pass rushing duo we're gonna have had in a long time, probably since I exited my childhood. And the line, I'm excited for the competition at right tackle between Neal and Illuminor. I think Runyon playing next to Andrew Thomas is going to be big for him. I hope JMS improves, man, because that is kind of like our X factor for this line. So,
honestly, is it the best pass rushing duo since like not the season when Strahan retired, the season before Strahan retired, and then like OC here? It might be up there because like OC came out and he was like swinging. And like
it depends on
Strahan last year was fine, but like the year before Strahan like retired, he was still like good. I can't think of a pass rushing duo to that extent. Maybe Tuck. I mean, it has to be like a Giants line. That's what I'm kind of thinking. It has to be like a Giants line. I don't think it's anything Ravens related. Like Suggs was good, but I don't think he was like that caliber player.
It's gonna be like a thing where, first of all, the elephant in the room is that Kayvon wasn't really efficient last year. Yeah, he got, I think it was 11.5 sacks, but he kind of took the Jets' O tackles behind the barn for that 3-sack game, and then he sprinkled in a couple sacks here and there against some backups. So the hope is going to be that obviously playing next to Burns, he gets more one-on-ones, whatever the case may be, and his efficiency goes up, his pass rush win rate goes up, all that good stuff. But like I was saying before, I think the guy, who changes how we look more so than anybody is if Aziz can stay healthy. If Aziz can stay healthy, I think The run defense is good enough to hold up by itself between Dex, a D tackle who you might be bringing from the draft or something like that, and just Bobby and Micah continuing to take steps up. I really want to see Aziz turn it around because I think he is between him and Kayvon. I think Aziz has more of the kind of unblockable kind of effect. Like his bend is different than Kayvon's. I think he's right now a better technician than Kayvon, and Kayvon just has absurd agility and closing speed. So that's how he racks up a lot of sacks. But yeah, point is, I'm excited for Aziz to find the play next to an alpha.
I mean, like you said, I think we still should probably just. I mean, a lot of the depth's going to be built through the draft, especially given our cap situation. But I still do think edge is a position of need, so to speak, because we just really can't trust Aziz's health. And we've seen him perform, at least besides this past year, when he's healthy. But that's always the thing. It's always an if with him.
Yep. I mean, at this point, if you're the Giants, aside from quarterback and receiver, I don't think you're going to go edge or guard within the first 2 rounds, really. Maybe you start going guard at round 3.
Yeah.
I would say from the mocks that I've done and from articles I've read, I think there's going to be plug and play guards in round 4.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if we do want to talk about draft stuff a little bit, if we don't go, or I guess this is QB/draft. Con, I don't know if you saw it earlier in Discord, but I floated out the idea of Fields as a potential flyer. No. I know, I get it. It sounds ugly, but at the same time,
it's also positional cost for him. The Bears aren't going to sell low on him, and there's a bunch of teams that are going to be take the flyer.
Well, they're not going to sell low on him until he has no suitors and they just cut him. So do they want to get him for something, or do they just want to cut him and get him for nothing, and get nothing for him?
Plus, how many teams are going to want to pay that 5th-year option potentially?
Nobody.
It's the literal same thing with DJ.
I mean, I'm just thinking about it, considering the fact that we may QBs that we want may not be available at 6. We just don't know how the draft is going to shake out, and it might be worth taking a flyer because I think their asking price was a 4th or a 5th as of this point. So it might be worth taking a flyer and just throw them a future 5th for Fields and see if he can play and develop under Dable. Also, because he has experience developing QBs.
But Fields isn't good. I don't think Fields is the kind of quarterback that actually wins you football games. So I'm just not sold on it.
But is this the year? This isn't really a year we're trying to win anyway, though, right?
Sure. But if I'm going to be developing a quarterback, give me 4 years of cost control versus 1 year cost control, and then having to actually trade value to get him.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm not crazy over the field stuff just because I don't want to have to be forced into a decision with that 5th-year option. But I also don't really know where to go. I was sold on Russ being an option.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Tannehill?
And Russ Wilson.
No, I'm saying do you potentially think about Tannehill?
Oh, do you go Tannehill? I can't do that. I think that's too nasty.
You can't play Daniel Jones. You cannot play Daniel Jones.
I mean, expect him to get a couple starts.
He's not even gonna be ready week 1. I don't think he's gonna be ready for week 1. So if that's the case,
yeah,
I would be. If he's ready week 1. Plus, I don't think if you're the Giants, do you want to take a risk? He's had 2 season-ending injuries in 5 years.
I hear you. I totally get what you're saying. I just don't know where they turn from here. Would
Darnold?
you take him? Would you take McCarthy at 6? Darnold, yeah. Okay. I think Darnold's also on a mini.
Yeah, he also signed already. Yeah.
Did he sign?
I think he went back to San Fran.
Did he? I didn't see anything about that.
I can fact check myself.
Okay. Owenu just signed, by the way.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. He's Patriots.
Okay, well,
Yeah. So
357.
357?
38 guaranteed though. I mean, we got Illuminor, which helps the like lack of signing O lines or O linemen a little bit better, but also like I know he was your guy, Con.
as soon as they signed Runyon, I was like, yeah, they're not doing
Yeah.
they're not doing a win.
That was my thought.
Motherfucker, bro. Dude, there's no fucking way in hell a team loaded up the film of Onwenu and Robert Hunt and was like, we're gonna pay this guy $43 million more than Robert Hunt. I'm sorry, than Onwenu. Like, there's no way that makes.
I mean, same franchise that just held on to Brian Burns instead of trading him for 2 firsts and a second, just to trade him for basically Leonard Williams.
Yeah, dude, if you're a Panthers fan, how do you feel knowing that you gave a guard $20 million, albeit a really good guard, but then you traded Brian Burns for a second and let another team pay him? Like, I think that's as close to torture as you could get.
Yeah, David's right. The guard market has been nuts.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good year to be a guard.
Just to put that into perspective, the Rams traded for Kevin Dotson from the Steelers. He was there for 1 season, $48 million contract off 1 year of good play. That is just absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, dude, the Onwenu contract is so good.
Yeah,
it's such a good deal.
I'm a little jealous of that. Immediately, I was just like, all right, Runyon 10 million, Illuminor 7 million. I would easily give those guys up and just pay Onwenu 19 just to come here and just lock shit down for 3 years, even 4 years. Like, God, shit. All right.
I do.
Can we touch on this just because we skipped over this? And
yeah, but real quick, just to wrap up this shitting on of the Panthers.
Yeah,
they traded this year's first pick, McCaffrey, DJ Moore, a 2023 first, 2023 second, 2024 first, and 2025 first for 1 year of Brian Burns, Bryce Young, DJ Johnson, who is PFF's 125th highest graded edge, and 2 fifths.
Horrendous.
Fleeced.
Yes.
Horrendous.
Just that kills the franchise.
Oh man, if there's any Panthers fans watching, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So getting back to X, I ranted on this. I think Tyrese ranted on this. I'm not sure. But if you guys just want to bring it up again, because I think like 600 people have came and gone since we talked about it. So,
Tyrese, you want to start?
Up to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, like with McKinney, it's just safety. The safety market is loaded, so I was not going to pay McKinney $68 million. It didn't make much positional sense to me. And realistically, you're seeing what the league values. The league values their trenches. The league values really, really solid tackle play and very good defensive line play, and that's how you build winning teams. So to me, like, a safety is good. Like, it's fluff. Like, you can live with like an okay safety. You can't live with like okay pass rush, you know? Like, and plus, again, the safety market is so depressed because there's so many good safeties available that like I can't get too mad about it. And the running back thing has been discussed ad nauseum. Like, don't pay running backs. So.
Yeah. I think the Bears gave a shit running back contract to Swift, but we'll maybe talk about that later.
Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit. I think the thing that hurts the most about losing McKinney is the value he would have had in Bowden's scheme, because we know how well safeties perform or have performed in the past. At least, like Kevin Byard was an All-Pro there for years, and McKinney being only 24, he had a chance. Like, depending on how long Bowden is going to be here, obviously, but he had a chance to really lock down that safety position. And especially in the latter half of the year, I really liked the way he and Pinnock played together. I think that was a very solid safety duo. But like Tyrese said, in this market, it's not worth paying $17 a year. What do you get? Like, what was the guaranteed money? Do you remember off the top of your heads?
Off the top of my head, it was 38.
Yeah, like maybe down the road we're in a position to pay up that much, but we're not in any position to pay 17 a year for a safety, and also we might be able to just snag a good safety for like 12 or 13 a year if we make some more cat moves. And that's also a position that can be addressed in the draft. But
he's also just like, I think he's a good safety. Top 5 safety money is not worth it. He's not a top 5 safety.
But a lot of guys are going to be getting new contracts soon.
True, but like he is a fringe top 10 safety at best. I wouldn't say that he's like somebody who you're like, oh yeah, this guy is going to be like an all-pro caliber kind of safety. I don't think he is that.
Also, I was just trying to find the McKinney stuff, and I see PFF Green Bay Packers posted 590 coverage snaps, 53 targets, no touchdowns allowed. Like, that's why you don't cite PFF, because he absolutely gave up a touchdown. I saw it multiple times this year.
Yep. Didn't he get? Oh my God, he got burned by Goddard like 5 times in the first Eagles game.
Like, and I'm not just saying this because he left, but like, just stop doing that shit. Like, be serious.
I mean, if we're using PFF, he's been a top 5 safety since he came into the NFL, which we know has not been true, or is not true. Like, gonna miss him because I think he's definitely way more of an on-field leader than locker room leader. Not saying that because I have sources, but just like eye test wise. And also it sucks because he and Tay Banks were really close. And it just sucks to have like one of the guys we want to be a cornerstone of the defense lose one of their veterans early, and especially a guy who's young himself. But like at the end of the day, we can probably get equivalent safety value from a guy who's going to be on a way cheaper contract. And yeah, he also did get run over by Josh Dobbs.
yeah, that's not wrong. Looking through the safety options still available, we obviously touched on Jordan Poyer. I think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is an interesting one.
Ooh, I forgot he's a free agent this year.
Yeah, Rayshon Jenkins, who was cut by the Jaguars when they kind of mass exodus their entire secondary. He's out there. Eddie Jackson's out there. Quandre Diggs, who you talked about, Luka is out there. Micah Hyde is out there. So
is Marcus May still alive?
I'm gonna double check this before I kind of say it with my chest, but I think he like had trouble with like the law or something.
Say it with your chest. No.
Yeah.
Oh, he did get cut. Okay, so maybe we don't want Marcus May on the Giants.
Something happened to him. I remember I read something and I was like, that is wild.
Okay, so maybe.
Also, Jeremy Chin is out there, who I don't think like he's definitely more of a box type guy.
Chin is what the
dude? He's a big hybrid like linebacker safety type guy.
No. I was gonna say I had no idea he's a free agent. I might not know ball. I'm washed.
So there's options out there. Julian Blackmon is out there, who I think would be probably the best guy in terms of you let a young safety go, you bring a young safety in. He's 25. I think he's just kind of as close as you can get to replacing that prototype that McKinney gave you.
Yeah.
So that's a guy who I'd be interested to see how much he would cost us.
And I can't highlight comments, but if you want to stay with the defense, Schwinn asked if DJ Reader signed anywhere yet. Unless we just signed, I think he's still a free agent. Yeah. That would be super solid.
He's still out there, but he's also not going to be within our price range.
Yeah, no, he's going to cost way.
He's probably going to be like an $18 million guy, unless he gets kind of left without a chair in this free agency first kind of week or so.
We can hope for that.
But maybe.
I do think. Sorry to cut you off, Con.
No, don't worry.
I want to look at what Grover Stewart got because $339. Let's see if I can find the guaranteed money real quick. Yeah, okay. So just 339 as of right now. I don't see the guarantee, but like I don't think we're in really any position to be given upwards of 15 mil a year to D tackles. Like I would love to sign him because then the D line just gets absolutely disgusting. You have Brian Burns and Thibodeau on the edge, and then DJ Reader and Dex on the inside with Okereke and McFadden and Pinnock, who's a good run stopping safety. Like hopefully Banks takes a step because our DBs not being good run defenders, I think really massacred the defense for a lot of the year.
Yeah.
And I guess that is another area where losing McKinney hurts is he was a pretty good run stopping safety. But I think we'll be able to make it up.
He definitely was. And between Belton stepping up, he showed in the last half of the season that he could really play a little bit of a bigger role. Between him and just how good Pinnock looked in really every facet of the game, like I think that guy is like really kind of not bordering on whatever upper tier there is, but I think he's really versatile, and I think that he'll take the majority of kind of like that role McKinney had, where he was leading the secondary, kind of doing it all on blitzes, playing coverage, playing run. I think Pinnock's gonna have a big year, and I think that letting McKinney walk in general was just a big kind of push to him and to say, we have confidence in you. We brought you in as an undrafted free agent off of the wire from the Jets of all teams.
Thank you, Jets. Thank you.
And second year we gave you a starting job, and we think you can really run with it. So these comments about my beard.
The beard comments.
So between that and Belton and potentially signing one of the lower tier guys who's just kind of old and forgotten about, maybe like next week, I think that's really like a way to round out the safety room, and then take maybe a late one in the draft or something like that.
Yeah. And I don't really have like much else to add. That was a great breakdown, but Pinnock is still only 24.
Yeah.
Like he and
McKinney
are
a legit athlete. Like his RAS score is, I think it was like over a 9.4, something like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it just sucks, man, because he and McKinney both being 24 and like having those two under contract until their primes are passed would have been awesome. But unfortunately, Dave Gettleman was our previous GM.
Real quick, where do you guys think T. Higgins goes?
Giants.
Low-key.
I think
I'm thinking the Bears.
I've heard the Titans.
The Titans. Who's throwing the Will Levis?
Will Levis, yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't think Will Levis is as bad as
come on.
he
bro.
seems.
Oh.
Also, the Titans, or I should say, T. Higgins is from Tennessee, and that's like one of the main parts of him wanting to go over there.
I guess, but man, that'd just be disgusting.
I mean,
T. Higgins wasting his career in Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you squeeze a couple more years out of D Hop or whatever he has left, because he and T. Higgins could be fun together. And then they just signed Tony Pollard, and they got Tajay Spears. Yeah,
like I kind of really like what they got going on. I like Chigo Okonkwo, tight end over there.
Yeah,
really athletic guy. So
they did just let Aziz Al-Shakir walk though.
Yeah, he signed a big deal.
Yeah, I just saw that a couple minutes ago.
So okay, I found the athletic score for Jason Pinnock.
Yeah, Aziz Al-Shakir just went to the Texans. So I guess that's kind of no, he's not really their Greenard replacement, but
that makes sense because he was with the Nico Ryans when he was in San Francisco.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it had something to do with the Titans losing Bowden to us, but I don't think I would have wanted to let him go if I'm a Titans fan. I also don't really know what their cap situation is looking like.
I mean, I also think like if Derrick Henry's walking, they're letting anybody walk. It's kind of the situation we were in Saquon. Like if you can let that guy walk out of the building, you'll let anybody walk out, and that's just kind of like how I guess the nature of their thing was.
Yeah.
The more confusing part to me is that their GM, Rand Carthen, is the guy who kind of was third in command, I believe, in San Francisco, and obviously that's where Aziz Al-Shaair came from.
Mm-hmm.
So going from one ex-San Francisco guy to another is, I guess, the best transition he could have made. But I just wonder, like, if you're letting him go, I don't really think they had another playable linebacker last season, not off the top of my head, at least.
No, they didn't.
Let me see what else we got over here.
Yeah.
With
to Chicago.
Hero, I know Pollard's not an RB1, but he's going to split with Tajay, and they're going to just handle it together. So, like, they're going to manage. And I think Tajay could be a one by himself, but they signed Pollard, I guess.
I mean, they didn't give Pollard a ton of money, though.
They gave him 3 years, $24 million, no?
Yeah, I think so. Which isn't like a massive contract. I'm guessing it was probably like 14, 15 guaranteed.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Tajay could be an RB1 by himself. That guy's good. And I guess just while we're touching on running backs again, I saw Neil's comment earlier about Swift going. Well, like Singletary as well, but also Swift going to Chicago.
Yeah.
Weird deal.
I didn't like that one.
That was super odd. Chicago's always doing weird shit. Ryan Poles sucks.
That was another $8 million deal, no?
Yep. I think that was also $324.
Now, if you're Ryan Poles and you're staring an $8 million a year deal for DeAndre Swift in the face, why on God's green earth would you not add, what is it, $5-6 million to that and just get Saquon?
Yeah.
Like, DeAndre Swift has never really been good. Like, in Detroit, he wasn't good after contact. Same thing in Philly, wasn't great after contact. He averaged a lot of yards per carry because he's always ran behind a good line. And Chicago is a step down from both of those teams. It's really not even a discussion. So, confusing for Chicago. Swift got his bag, so, like, whatever. I don't really care about what money he gets.
Mm-hmm.
Just I don't like that move, and I think it was kind of a move where they spend money to spend money.
Yeah, which, I mean, I mentioned that, or I texted this to you, Con. I'm glad that I wanted the Giants to do the same if they didn't make any more splashes in free agency. Like, with all the big O-line contracts going around, it kind of just made more sense to stand pat before we extended Brian Burns and just do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago is just in a hell of a situation themselves with Poles because he's doing some weird shit over there.
If they didn't, I guess I can't really say this, but like,
you should say it anyway. If
they didn't trade out of the first pick last year, nothing they've done would have been the right move.
I mean, they've hardly done anything that's been good anyway.
Like, they have, in my opinion, they have a better guy in-house right now in Khalil Herbert than DeAndre Swift. Like yeah. Outright.
Yeah.
I think he's flat out better. So sorry?
No, I was going to say Khalil Herbert's way better of a pure runner than Swift is.
Yeah. I mean, on defense, they've done some, like, the Sweat trade was like okay, but then you look at them giving up a second for Sweat, and then you look at the Giants giving up a second for Burns, and you're like, okay, like, that is something we shouldn't have done, right?
Yeah.
So
it feels like they're.
Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it feels like they're always trying to make the first move because, like, we know that shit never really follows suit the way that people think it will in terms of, like, free agency contracts and, like, trade value and stuff. Like, I mentioned this earlier, that the Panthers declined 2 firsts and a second for Burns last year, and now, absurd. And now we traded for him for a second and a fifth. So it feels like Poles is just always trying to make the first move, and it just ends up biting him in the ass because value depreciates over time when there aren't deals or contracts in place, and he just never sits and waits to see how shit is going to shake out, and instead is always jumping. And I guess it did work out in trading out of the first pick, but that's about it.
Yeah. And I want to go to the Singletary stuff. So To me, I still think they're a candidate to draft a running back in the draft. Of course, because where else would you draft a fucking running back? God, I'm a fucking idiot.
You already watched.
I'm so washed. But I don't think this stops them from like going after like maybe like a Marshawn Lloyd or something in like round 4 potentially. I don't think it stops them from going after like a Jalen Wright, who I really like out of Tennessee. Could be another round 4 guy. So what they did, obviously Shane's familiar with Singletary from Buffalo.
Classic.
He kind of got a lot more usage as not really a gadget weapon, but just as a true runner this year in Houston. So I think they're comfortable with him kind of holding the position down for a season and then bringing along whatever rookie they draft slowly and just filling the hole that way. So I really want Jalen Wright. That's like the guy I think is electric in this draft.
What do you think of Eric Gray? Because he's still in house too.
I don't hate Eric Gray. At the time, I really didn't like the pick because I thought it was unnecessary.
It was
but
a weird pick at the time.
I don't think he looked bad per se when he had the ball in his hands. Like pass protection was a different story.
Yeah, that's the reason he just barely played before he got hurt because he sucked in pass pro.
So he's going to be obviously a developmental thing, right? And we'll see how that plays out. Like I don't think he factored into offseason plans. That's the way the Singletary signing read to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying as an option, right? Because it never hurts to have depth at any position.
Yeah.
And I do think from some of his Oklahoma tape that he has potential to just be a good running back in the NFL. Because I mean, especially just building up the O-line the way it seems we're doing, and the fact that Shane is making that a priority and willing to spend premium at that position, you don't need the most dynamic or elite running backs if you have a good O-line. We've seen guys perform mediocre running backs, so to speak, perform really well behind elite O-lines. So maybe a guy like Eric Gray could end up becoming or end up rotating into the running back rotation, however that pans out for the Giants.
DeAndre Swift just got $8 million because he ran behind a good O-line.
Exactly.
So just keep that in mind. What else we got? Another
David
baseball
Goodman's
comment. Tyrese, look at this. I know you're talking about football. Did you see Edwin Diaz today?
I'm going to sit this one out.
We're so back.
One more back.
This pitching lab got me right. We're going to have Shintaro Fujinama cooking. Luis Severino Cy Young season.
Good luck getting them to stay healthy.
Nate Lavender, 1.7 ERA season.
Christian Scott.
Christian Scott
after June is going to be so rookie of the year. We're coming, bro. We're coming. We can't hit, but we're going to pitch our asses off. a lot of 1-0 ball games.
That's Ray's ball right there.
Exactly.
Yeah. I can't highlight. I got to get signed to YouTube so I can highlight comments. But David said he thinks Jordan Riley takes a big step this next year. Yeah, he's another guy who we didn't talk about who could really benefit from having just a good edge duo finally. Because I do think he's a good run stopper. And just speaking of D tackles, I know I mentioned this to UConn. I wish we could get Ashawn Robinson back because he was also really good in the playing time he got for us, especially after we traded Leo. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what his market's going to look like, but that's a guy I would consider bringing back as well.
Yeah, I agree. Just to put kind of the scouting hat on with Jordan Riley. First of all, big ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right. I forgot what he measured at. I think it was 6'8", 340 or something in that range. I don't know if you could check that for me or not, but
I'm gonna look real quick.
When he played, he was primarily Dex's backup, and I thought as the season went on, he dealt with double teams a lot better. I thought he was able to two gap a little bit at times as well when he had one guy on him blocking him. So I think he's a great backup to Dex, and You talk about like not having a break when Dex goes out. When he takes a seat, you're blocking however he is. Tell me what he measured at.
6'5", 315.
6'5", 350. Yeah. So you're blocking that guy, and he also has like his technique got a lot better. He had a lot of power in his hands from college at Oregon, just the way that he fired out of his stance. I think he was always good with that stuff. And getting more technical with Andre Patterson, who was the D-line coach last year. He got promotion this year. Very much deserved. Outstanding coach for us. I just love that duo. And it really only makes us need to get one D tackle, right? Whether that's free agency or the draft. We
They're gonna
really
draft
need one. But yeah, most likely the draft. I think we're pretty
like
much out.
yeah, the Giants
Yeah.
and DTs are like the Giants are a DT factory, so they're gonna draft them.
Yeah.
That's true.
So if you guys listened to that podcast episode yesterday, Chris Jenkins from Michigan, I think that would be a fucking ridiculous add to this line.
If
So
Schwinn's still in here, drop
Yeah.
your thoughts in the comments.
I hope Schwinn's still in here because that would be a crazy ad.
I mean, do we want to do like? Oh, I think we missed this a couple minutes ago. Fant back to the Seahawks, 2 years, $21 million.
What?
Yeah.
Bro, they barely gave this guy the fucking ball. What? What are they giving him $10 million for?
Because Disley and Parkinson are gone.
If you didn't think he was a $10 million player, then now you do because your guys left. That makes no sense to me. They didn't want to play him over them.
Which is so weird as well. Like, why are you not playing uber athletic Noah Fant over Will Disley and Cody Parkinson? But to each their own, I guess.
Look, I love Noah Fant. That was my my Darren Waller replacement in that episode I did yesterday. So I hope Darren Waller doesn't retire now, which would really fucking make me angry.
He's going to retire probably.
I think he's going to retire too.
I mean,
Yep.
just seeing how bad we're going to look next year, like the defense is going to be sick. I'm going to have the most fun watching the defense by far. But given how
they're still operating like they think he's going to retire,
which is the smart move.
Yeah. because you can always restructure Dex and Andrew Thomas if you need to.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like if he comes back, great, right? Like that's sick. If not, I guess we have to address tight end in the draft too. Hey.
I believe in Bellinger. Like Bellinger
Yeah,
obviously doesn't give you the receiving upside that Waller does, but Bellinger can handle the job just fine.
He's a way better blocker, which we saw during the playoff season.
Yeah.
And-
and too from David, Seahawks have a different offensive staff. That you're totally right. That's I got ahead of myself on that.
I mean, who was the tight end you mentioned, Con, the blocker from this draft? I don't know how the hell.
Tip Ryman
Yes.
from Illinois.
Yeah. I don't know where he's gonna fall. I mean, like blocking tight ends, we know usually don't go super high in the draft. So, and I feel like we develop tight ends pretty well, all things considered. So just another draft spot for us. Unfortunately, there's a lot of holes in the roster, so we kind of have to, like I said earlier, just have a really good draft because I think this is really the make or break year at this point for the front off, or for not make or break, like they're going to get fired if they don't perform well. But this feels like a big year just developmentally, and also we just really need to draft well because
you can't have like 3 bad drafts.
Yeah,
I want to say they were bad drafts, but like you can't have like you need a draft that's like, okay, we got like 3 guys that come out of this and they're like valued contributors.
Yeah.
Well, 2022 hurt the 2021 draft, I guess. The Wandale, Bellinger, Belton.
Yeah, that one hurt a lot.
That one hurt a lot.
Yeah, because that's also Kayvon and Neal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like Kayvon is looking to be, like we talked about this a little bit. I think he'll probably take the year 3 leap, and he also now gets to learn under Brian Burns, who's been elite for however many years. Neal's looking really bad. Hopefully he can at least show that he can be even a rotation O-line in the NFL. And the rest of that draft is kind of just a mess, man. Like Wandale's solid, Bellinger's solid, Belton is what he is. And then the year before as well, like the Ellerson Smith pick and like the Azudu pick, there was a lot of questionable decisions from that draft. And it just sucks that we couldn't really hit on the draft, like the important draft picks. But hopefully this is the year Shane finally does that.
Yeah. I think what it comes down to for me is, does he think his job is on the line this season coming up? And if it is,
No way.
I think he takes JJ McCarthy. I mean, I don't think it is either, but like it has to be, like, for us talking about this, I think it has to be a thought for us.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think they take McCarthy at 6 if he's there. If not, I think we probably trade down, unless from the tea leaves you hear top 4 quarterback, Chargers like a tackle at 5.
Drake May.
I wish, man. I don't think that's going to happen, though.
I don't know.
Probably going to be a Patriot, if I had to guess.
I think he's going to be a Patriot. That's where I'd put my money on right now. But if he's not, then he should be a Giant. But I'm not going to deal in that world. I'm not going to get my hopes for that. I'm just not doing that to myself.
I mean,
in a world where there's 4 quarterbacks,
JJ McCarthy is coming home.
He's coming home. So you're a JJ
McCarthy's
guy.
coming home. Unfortunately.
Okay. Look, I like JJ. If we took him,
I think JJ's fine.
I wouldn't be mad at all.
Like, he's better than Mac Jones. Like, whatever.
I mean,
what I think is interesting is, like, if the top 4 quarterbacks, let's say Mini trades up to 4 or something like that.
They're taking JJ at 4 if they trade up 100%.
Yeah.
I can't see them trading up, dude. I can't see it. It's going to take so much for them to go from 11 to 4.
It would take at least another first on top. But then after that first, like, I think you're probably talking like a first and a third.
I mean,
yeah, it's going to take 2 firsts for them to get there.
Including the one at 11 you're talking.
Yeah. Like, you'd have to give 11 and probably your next 2 firsts. It's 11,
I don't think so.
It's 11.
But you also kind of you have to consider, like,
and then you have to also make sure you're not beating any other team that's trying to jump you, which is the Giants. True. So, like, you're going down 7 spots potentially. You got to make it worth it. So I'm looking at 2 firsts.
I mean, I'm wondering, like, is there a world where they trade up to 4? Who has 4 right now? Arizona. Could you imagine a world where they trade Justin Jefferson to get up to 4?
No,
that would make no sense. Also, you have to convince the Cardinals that Marvin Harrison Jr. is not worth taking at 4.
Yes.
Like, that's why I'm like, you're probably going to have to include another first, because if I can't get wide receiver 1, 2, or 3, it needs to be worth it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
mean, granted, since we're on the receiver situation, like, this is at least in my not expert opinion, a really good receiver draft. Like, at least 3 guys are going to go in the top 15. I think there's a decent amount of round 1 talent that's going to fall to the second round. But, like, if you have the opportunity to take Marvin Harrison Jr. and put him next to Kyler, you have to.
Yeah, like, that's why I'm like, it'll be quarterback, Marvin Harrison Jr., and then the draft starts at 5.
And then Olu or Alt or whoever it is.
And also it's like, you have to convince the Chargers, hey, let's not take the best offensive tackle in the draft. Like, we have to potentially go OT3. That's why I'm like,
I think that's why. But, like, if I had to place a bet, I think JJ McCarthy is like,
I think he's a Giant.
65% gonna be a Giant.
I think,
and it's just because they can get Marv at 6 if they trade with us. Because I think Los Angeles goes alt. Then I think from there we go with McCarthy at 4, alt, then Harrison at 6 for the Cardinals. And then 7, 8, 9, I mean, you could kind of fill in the blanks. Chicago's going to go receiver at 9 for sure. New York is going to go for tackle at 10, which kind of gets into this question over here that Spiro posed about what the Jets are going to do with wide receiver in line. I think that is early for Fuaga if they take him at 10, just because I think Olu is one of those guys who's getting overthought just because he's been elite for so long. Olu Fushanu from Penn State, left tackle over there. I think he's getting overthought. But I also think if you guys were to trade down to 16, just because you don't have a lot of picks in this draft, I think Fuaga at 16 is a really good player. He's really close to being in that alt and Olu tier, in my opinion. He's not up there with them. I wouldn't put him as the same type of prospect, but he moves really well.
Yeah. And he's a big ass dude too. Pause. He's 6'6", 335, I think.
He played comp in that Pac-12. Yeah.
I mean, just if we want to talk Giants or receivers still for a little bit, Neil and David in the comments were kind of talking about receiver possibility for the Giants. I don't know if I would hate Neighbors at 6 or O'Dunes at 6.
I like Odunze more.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't exactly watched film on either, so to speak.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not gonna turn down LSU receivers.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thinking. Even though I have not kept up enough with the receivers in this draft because I'm this is a quarterback draft, but
a lot of good guys in the second too as well though. Worthy will probably drop to the second round. I've mentioned Xavier Legette a couple times.
Yeah.
I really like him. I think he could be the second round pick.
I would not be happy if he was a second round pick. If
you think he's more of a later?
I think if he was the third, or if we traded up to the first pick in the 4th round, that's where I'd be happy with him.
Not even at 47.
No, not if I don't think he's complete enough right now, and he's 23. Fair. We need to win. We're looking for a 1, right? We're not looking for a solid player here. We're looking for a guy who changes the offense.
Should we just put the 2 Tennessee speedsters back together and just draft Worthy? Worthy, Hyatt, Wandale, Slayton.
Well, Worthy is
not at 47 necessarily.
You said Tennessee speedster. He's from Texas, not Tennessee.
Oh, I'm washed.
It's okay.
We all are. The orange tea. Yeah. Yeah, the orange teas. But yeah, that could be fun. I mean, quarterback dependent. It could be fun. And Schwinn just said he thinks Dable would love JJ.
He would.
I mean, I think Dable would love any quarterback who he can develop. That's not Daniel Jones because he sucks.
True. But I think he would like JJ because I think JJ thinks the game the right way. He's you could take him to see your daughter, not a backwards hat kind of guy, but
he's the first one into the room. Tyrese, is that?
Yeah, first one into the room. Sneaky athletic.
Yeah. He is actually sneaky athletic though.
First one in, last one out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
he's kind of guy you'd have date your daughter.
Yep. The kind of
he's
guy
absolutely gonna get. He's getting captain patch first year too. It's gonna be so.
Rip it off DJ's chest.
Yes.
Snatch his chain.
Oh God. You think that would happen?
No. You think they take DJ Shane this offseason, bro?
Well, I mean, we have 2 new captains to name now. I bet Burns gets 1.
For sure.
I think
they might.
Tay?
They
might smash.
Is Pinnock a safety? I mean, a captain.
Isn't Okereke already a captain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Now I'm washed. All right.
We're all washed. It is what it is.
They're taking DJ Shane this offseason. That's all I know.
I mean, I wonder if Dable sees a little bit of Josh Allen in JJ. Not as athletic, obviously, but
Don't throw out the fucking Josh Allen comp, bro. That guy's ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, not like now, Josh
You
Allen.
might see Kirk Cousins.
Yo,
For-
if he's Kirk Cousins with wheels, I'm chilling with that. I'm cool with
Kirk
that.
is
I'm
fine.
kind of thinking he's Kirk Cousins with wheels.
Kirk is fine, bro. He's the generational bag getter, which kind of like sours the opinion on him as a player. But he's not a bad
He's
quarterback.
fringe top 10. He's like top 15. Like the Kirk Cousins is like the Mendoza line of good quarterback play. Like if you have Kirk Cousins, you'll make the playoffs. You might win a game. Like you'll probably never be on the Super Bowl bubble, but like you won't be ass.
Like when the playoffs start, people will be like, "Oh, watch out for this guy's team. They can make a run." And then you're not gonna make a run, but like, fine.
Like you could end up like being a top 3 seed with Kirk. Like Kirk Cousins could get you home field advantage through the divisional round.
Yeah,
that's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like, will he win you a bowl? Probably not. But
and then factoring in that JJ might be him with wheels, that's when you can kind of get hype.
Yeah, if you have Kirk Cousins that can scramble.
Well, Kirk is a fucking, especially now, he's a statue in the pocket.
Yeah, he's gonna be a statue now because he tore.
Well, after the Achilles injury, but he still kind of was like pre-Achilles injury. But like you guys are saying, like if he's mobile, if JJ is mobile, Kirk Cousins, I think we can live with that.
Last topic, and then we get out of here because my throat is dry as hell.
Pause.
AJ Epinesa back to the Bills, 2-year deal. I didn't see a number for that, but I don't think it'd be much higher than like 10, 11, 12 million dollars.
It's in the Discord if you were tapped in.
If I was if I wasn't
if you weren't washed.
What was the number on that?
Oh, damn, you make me scroll up a ton. Give me a second.
Don't worry.
There you go.
Did that happen while we were on here?
No, it happened before the Burns trade.
Oh Jesus Christ! What am I doing?
It's
2-year deal, $20 million.
2 years.
Yeah. Okay. Good player. I think you look at Leonard Floyd getting 2 years, $20 million. You look at AJ Epinesa getting 2 years, $20 million. Way better player than Leonard Floyd. Not even a doubt in my mind. Way better. I think you look at even a guy like Bryce Huff getting 17 million. AJ Epinesa to me getting 10 is
that's way
better. Beyond good value. Like familiar with the scheme. Tyrese, you got a fan in the comments, by the way. Familiar with the scheme. Improved year to year. So great deal. I think it's perfect. And this actually last topic before we get out of here. Tyrese, this is for you.
I haven't heard it yet. Don't spoil it for me, bro. Cody's finishing the story.
I'm getting tuned into that now too.
Also, Drew. By the way, Drew McIntyre, best gimmick 2024. I don't want to hear shit.
Yeah, we're snatching Seth Rollins' chain, bro. It's not even.
Seth Rollins is just gonna be Iron Man and Cody Vengers, and that's cool.
Yep, absolutely.
That's perfectly fine. I don't think he's the title for a good bit.
Do you want to hear?
For people still in here, I plan on going live again. Maybe not live unless huge news drops, but at least having an episode wrapping up the off season on Saturday or something like that, or wrapping up the week. Jesus Christ, I'm tired. So thank you guys for stopping by. I'm gonna end it here. Seems like a good spot to end it, unless you guys want to add anything else.
No? I'm 24, bro.
I don't really got anything else.
All right.
Just happy that Brian Burns is a Giant.
Yep.
Yeah, Brian Burns is a Giant. Jermaine Illuminor is a Giant. Saquon is a traitor.
And McKinney's not an Eagle. All I care about.
McKinney's not an Eagle. And I think that's it.
Okay, wait.
All right.
Real quick, last thing. The Robert Hunt deal is kind of nasty.
Are you just seeing it?
No, the breakdown of it. It's year one is the 28, through 2 years 44, through 363, through 482, and then by year 5 he hits 100. So the
God,
first 2 years are 44 million fully guaranteed,
that is
with
nuts.
another 10 mil guaranteed next March. So like 54
man.
guaranteed through
He's-
the first 2+ years is nasty work.
Not my money.
For real.
Not my money. David
Not my
Tepper's
team,
money.
not my money, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
David Tepper is. Oh man.
All right.
Not my GM.
Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. We'll see you in the next one. Be good.
Peace.